What is going on, comic book gang? I'm Jancy, aka Year of the Collector. Today I want to cover a great story from The Boy Wonder number 3 by writer-artist Juni Ba. The Boy Wonder is from DC's Black Label series, and it's an interesting take on the lore and story of Damian Wayne, the latest character to hold the mantle of Robin. Juni Ba took the fairy tale approach to this established character to tell this old story in a new and fresh manner. There's plenty of themes explored and flushed out in this series that are worth talking about. So, in the spirit of celebrating this awesome comic book series, I reached out to a few of my fellow content creators to help me out with this episode and to have them voice act the characters. That's right. And for that, I want to extend a special thanks to RomezGuide, Juan Reads Comics, Hillbilly Comics, Nerdtooine, Thorstorian, and my wife, Unsannity Collective. They're all great people and content creators. You can check their channels and socials down below on the description. Finally, without further ado, let's jump into The Boy Wonder Part 3, the character of Robin. Our story opens in a fancy carriage. Two boys who can't stand each other on their way to a venue for the richest in the land. The king's third adopted son, crafty and clever, a companion in the king's crusade against evil, and the king's true-born child, raised by the demon's head, a boy eager to show his loyalty to his father by capturing a demon who'd been abducting the poorest in the land.
It's such a waste of time. An evening spent with sycophants?
Damian, managing Wayne Enterprises while Bruce is away includes functions like this. Besides, you plan on coming anyway.
I was planning on just sneaking in, not mingling at a vapid socialite party.
His last adventure had almost gotten him killed, so his brother had been appointed as his chaperone, something he knew his grandfather would see as a massive failure.
Weakness.
The brothers were following the clue that Rock the Demon left in their previous encounter.
I'm off now, but we'll see each other again. Should you guess where the bird's nest is the highest?
Right in the center of the kingdom, the mayor had raised a monument to himself in the form of a luxurious tower. The brothers figured there was no higher nest in the land. So, as Bruce Wayne delegates and in representation of Wayne Enterprises, they have attended tonight's festivities. Tim understood he was not going to be able to keep Damian close, so he suggested they keep in contact with these.
The latest from Wayne Enterprise, invisible headphones. Based on invisible jet technology, allows one to communicate without being noticed.
The young prince finds himself in uncharted territory. While he was raised as the heir of the demon's head, the League of Shadows are not for the spotlight of the famous or the wealthy. Hence the worried look on the young prince when in the face of one of the most troublesome adversaries in his new world, the paparazzi. And thus they walked into the hall and gazed upon what could be best described as bastardized shrines to the heroes of the world. The young prince saw these figures as blasphemy and believed his father would not approve the usage of his likeness for whatever corruption was about to occur in this place. After a closer look, Brother Tim points out the king's head is missing. Wonder why the mayor wouldn't complete this one statue out of the 3. The prince thought this was worth a chuckle. Speaking of the mayor, there he was, grabbing center stage to extend a warm welcome to tonight's attendees. Such esteemed guests included the likes of Maxwell Lord, a billionaire whose charity work has yielded him so many deductions in taxes he's effectively avoided paying any contributions in 20 years. Veronica Cale and fellow billionaire who utilizes charity foundations as her personal unregulated bank accounts. Last but not least, Lex Luthor, a well-known philanthropist, but unbeknownst to the public, all Luthor's philanthropic efforts are indirectly affiliated to external branches of corporations of his own. The young prince, however, was wary of the ways of the prosperous, for his own mother had taught him to be so.
When those known for hoarding riches claim to share, you should always wonder how it helps to grow their pile of treasure.
After his speech, Mayor Cobblepot approached the prince's brother. The young prince could not help but notice the amount of wealth paraded in the mayor's attire alone, followed by the tongue-in-cheek greeting his brother Tim extended to this man. The prince is rushed with a wave of distrust for his brother, and when he looked away in disgust, the young prince witnessed the obscene and excessive squandering of precious food resources by the kind of people that do not hunger, ever. Surely, this was to leave a feeling of revulsion on the young prince, especially after hearing the mayor boast about the amount of efforts it took in assembling this evening's festivities.
Thank you. You wouldn't believe how much it took to fund this little perch of mine.
Watching his brother abuse their father's trust to enrich himself? No, the prince had better things to do.
Weakness!
The brothers seemed to have distinctive reasons for being at the gala, the young prince thought. Brother Tim, rather, they stayed together, but the young prince had enough. He wanted to return to form and find the demon rock. It was at this very moment that Brother Tim opened to his young sibling with a serious inquiry.
I can't pin you down, kid. Can't tell if you value life. Can't tell if when push comes to shove, you'd put your life on the line for someone else. I can tell you feel bad about killing that guy, but do you feel bad because you hurt someone? Or because you were punished for it?
Weakness!
You only feel bad because you got found out? Those are the hard questions that expose your character. The questions you push down to distract yourself with seemingly more important things, like finding a way into the secret room of a tower, hoping to find a demon.
How would you find such a room? With the latest from Wayne Enterprise, portable security hacker, military-grade supercomputer, easily penetrates any security system and pulls all relevant intel. Item never commercialized.
As great as the gadget is, there was someone else interfering with the prince's efforts. It seemed the security system was being tempered by a third party. Unable to rely on technology, the prince went hands-on. While creeping through the air vents, the young prince continued to listen to his brother's parleys with the affluent folks in the gala, and the prince kept crawling, exhausted though he was, trying to get those in need while listening to those who eat the world into oblivion. Eventually, he was so high up he couldn't hear them anymore, and so he searched for the room the demon was hiding in. Last one, a tougher vent to crack.
Did you say tough? Do not worry. With the latest from Wayne Enterprise laser that can cut through anything, cutting-edge experimental laser for military use. Not green-lit for consumer sales. It can melt and separate metals. It is, however, not recommended for use in closed spaces due to its tendencies to overheat. It could cook you alive.
The prince managed to break into the room he had been looking for all evening.
Yes! Cutting edge tech my ass.
That room, that pool of flowing waters in the center, the shivers of macabre deja vu, the bodies of the abducted, lined up as if meant for a soon-to-come deadly bath. It all confirmed what he suspected for weeks. He knew exactly who the demon served and what this room was: a trap. A red blur swoops in to pull the prince out of danger. None other than his older brother in arms, the Red Robin. He acknowledges the cleverness of his younger brother by coming through the air vents, but he points out that was the most difficult route possible. Nonetheless, the praise is warranted, for the Robin did not give up. Rock greets the siblings.
Oh, how sweet. Much nicer than the last brother I saw you with.
The young prince properly warns his brother to not underestimate the demon, for this creature easily disposed of him and the Red Hood in the previous encounter. Also, all gadgets have malfunctioned so far this evening, so there's that too.
Can't rely on cheeky gadgets? Old school is always the option at Wayne Enterprise. Retractable bow staff. A classic.
Just an hour ago, the prince had seen this same brother abuse his gifts for personal gain, hadn't he? And yet, here he was, setting that aside to join the prince in doing what was right. A reminder you could indeed start wrong and course correct. It's never too late to act better.
Another must-have and always popular in the Wayne Enterprise catalog, batarangs, light and sharp, aerodynamic projectiles.
If he had inspired his brother towards such a change, maybe he could live up to his father's expectations after all. He kept professing it in his mind like a prayer or a promise. I will be worthy. I will be worthy. I will be worthy.
Speaking of expectations, from Wayne Enterprise, Alfred's own recipe for thick, disorienting smoke bombs.
The teamwork of the brothers yielded highly desired results. They managed to subdue Rock the Demon, even for a moment. But ever crafty, Rock pulls a last-second stunt and launches the collected victims into the pool to transfer them to another location. For this is nothing but a mere storage room. Without a given thought, they combine efforts to save the remaining kidnapped victims from being sent away.
What do we do about the rest of them?
We make Rock tell us where they're going. I'll lock the door system, so he won't be going anywhere.
What?
Suddenly, it washes over him like a tide of cold embarrassment. It was Brother Tim who hacked into the systems before Damian thought about doing it himself. The Red Robin had investigated Mayor Cobblepot in relation to the kidnappings prior to their arrival to the gala this evening. Brother Tim pretended to be another socialite, dining, whining, and networking with the other corrupted, influential attendees, just so he could record all self-incrimination by these elites. In the dark, that's where the young prince found himself, because his older brother had reservations about trusting him.
It was all an act?
Of course, the trick Batman taught me, to become what they want you to be. What better way to get their secrets? But you have to be careful. In a den of thieves, it'd be so easy to just comply and reap the rewards. It's important to remember what your values are so you don't lose yourself in who they want you to be.
The prince's self-confidence shakes. He'd done it again. Felt so threatened by his brother, he assumed the worst of him. He wanted to feel better, worthier than him so badly. He could hear the voice of his mother and his grandfather judging him for letting his insecurities drive his choices.
Weakness.
Then he remembered the main lesson.
Our first duty is to each other.
The hard questions you push down, lest they expose your character. Can you put your life on the line for someone else's? And even if you prove worthy,
Moy, ain't that is still old?
are you sure you can remember who you want to be when you face those who want to decide that for you?
Finally, grandson. Welcome home.
My goodness, what a story. I love the means in which Juni Ba utilizes Damian Wayne, not just to tell his own story and journey to becoming Robin, but to teach us real lessons. Damian is a little bit of a know-it-all, right? And he fancies himself the smartest person in any given room. His confidence will push him to take on any challenges, which can be a good thing when channeled correctly. On the other hand, too much confidence can guide you to make mistakes and, in this case, misjudge people, just like he misjudged his older brother, Tim Drake. At face value, Tim seemed like another wealthy socialite playing the game, and that didn't sit well with Damian. And rightfully so, Tim was out there pretending to rub elbows with the likes of Penguin, a clear-cut villain. If only Damian would have listened to Tim when he told him to stick together so he could learn a thing or two. And that's the beauty of all of this, right? Tim wanted to show Damian there are other ways to tackle a mission. Not everything has to be solved through violence or the theatrics of the shadows, because just like Tim explains, Batman himself has resorted to deception to defeat his enemies, like going undercover as Matches Malone. It was really cool to see Juni Ba bring back Matches Malone for that flashback. I don't want to oversell this, but Juni Ba's knowledge of Batman lore is kinda deep. Your casual fan wouldn't know who Matches Malone is, that's all I'm trying to say. The main theme of this episode is character. Tim Drake's character was put into question by Damian when he didn't know Tim's intentions at the gala. Tim, on the other hand, didn't trust Damian with his plan because he wasn't quite sure what to make of Damian's character. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure Damian knew why he wanted to be a Robin, or why he wanted to make up for killing that thief in the first place. Tim called him out on that, right? Did Damian feel bad for killing, or did he feel bad because he was shunned by his father and peers? What does that say about Damian's character? Who is he under the mantle? When he finds himself in the clutch, how will he carry himself? Well, in the end, I think we got our answer when he risked his life for Tim. With that being said, let me know what you think of this story so far. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this type of content. Finally, I want to thank you for watching. You have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.